Welcome to video number 2. Here we are going to cover unit number 9. First part is about the past perfect, and there's going to be a second part about the past continuous. So first question, what is the form of the past perfect, and then when do we use the past perfect? So quickly, the form. Okay, just like the present perfect, we must use the auxiliary have, but in the past. So the past of have is had, and then the past participle of the verb to take, for example, taken, had taken. And you see it is the same with all the other pronouns. Okay, so you had taken or you'd taken, he had taken or he'd taken. For the negative form, you just add not, had not taken or hadn't taken. And in questions we start with the auxiliary, and yes, you carry on. So had you taken, etc. The short answer, yes, I had. That's it for the form. Now, when do we use the past perfect? Let's consider the two sentences that we have here. I overslept this morning. Overslept, to oversleep, meaning that I did not wake up on time. I overslept this morning. I arrived late to the meeting. So we have two verbs, right? Two actions. Okay? Both of them are conjugated in the past simple. Let's consider the acts of time. This is time. And consider that this is the present. Both actions are going to be placed here in the past, right? Okay. However, one of the two actions happened before the other. So one comes first and later the other. Which of the two? So I overslept first and then arrived late. So how are we going to express this? The idea that we have two actions in the past, but one happened first and then the other. We take the action that happened first and we conjugate it in the past perfect. Okay, so I had overslept this morning, so I arrived late to the meeting. Okay, had overslept to say that this action happened first. Okay, another example. I was fired. I arrived late to the meeting. Consider very carefully which action happened first in time. So the action of arriving late and then being fired. So arrived would be conjugated in the past perfect. I was fired because I had arrived late to the meeting, or I'd arrived late to the meeting. Okay, another example. Samantha didn't call the doctor's office to get an appointment. The doctor accepted to see her. Again, two actions, didn't call and accepted. So the action of not calling comes first and then this one. Although Samantha hadn't called the doctor's office to get an appointment, the doctor accepted to see her. Okay, so we basically use the past perfect to express that an action happened before another in the past, right? The past perfect is used again to express that an action happened before or happened first, before another action in the past. As a way of practice, we are going to go to the workbook now and do together exercise number 4, part 2, on page 62. Okay, so we are here on page 62 of the workbook, joining sentences using conjunctions. Conjunctions like although, because, so, until, etc. So we use this to connect, to join sentences together. First part, you can do it alone. It's very simple. You just match A and B. We are going to focus on part 2. Okay, join the pairs of sentences using the conjunction. Change one verb into the past perfect. So which verb are you going to change into the past perfect? It is the action that happened first. Okay, here we have the conjunction when. I read the letter, I threw it away. The action of reading and the action of throwing away. You're always going to ask the question, which action happened first? Okay, logically here, it is the action of reading that happens first. So we conjugate the verb to read in the past perfect. Read in the past perfect is had read. When I'd read the letter, I threw it away. Number 2, using after. The guests went home, I tidied up. To tidy up is just to organize, to put some order in the house, to put everything in its place. Okay, so this is the verb to go, this is the verb to tidy up. The action, which action happened first? It is the action of leaving, going, here. Okay, what are we going to say? After the guests had gone home, I tidied up. Next, using although. He earned a lot of money in his life. He died a poor man. So we use although to express a contradiction. You see the contradiction here? The idea that he earned a lot of money and then dying poor. So these are contradictory ideas. Okay, so which action happened first? Again, it is the action of earning. We're going to conjugate this in the past perfect and say, although he'd earned a lot of money in his life, he died a poor man. Had earned. Number 4, using before. You have 2 sentences. I left the house, she woke up. Okay, let's consider here that the action of leaving happened first and then she woke up. I had left the house before she woke up. You see the action of leaving first. You can have this first as well here, no problem. Okay, it's quite logical as well, but we keep this, it's fine. Number 5, using until. We didn't stop cleaning, we did every room in the house. So the action of doing every room comes first and then stop cleaning, right? So we didn't stop cleaning until we'd done every room in the house. We'd done or we had done. Okay, the verb to do in the past participle, we use done. Number 6, using as soon as. I wrote my essay, I went to bed. Which action happened first? Yes, this one, right? So wrote in the past perfect. As soon as I'd written my essay, I went to bed. Number 7, using so. I was very rude to him. I rang or I called and apologized. Which action happened first? Being rude. This is why you say sorry later. Okay, so we're going to say, I had been very rude to him, so I rang and apologized. Verb to be in the past perfect, had been. Last one now, number 8. I ran to the station. The train already went. So the train went first and then the action of running, which was useless. Okay, using but. I ran to the station, but the train had already left. That's it for the exercise. Of course, you can do more exercises from the workbook as a revision, as a form of revision, and I advise you to go and check the irregular verbs, okay, the irregular verbs, because we are using them a lot, as you can see. Okay, so we continue with the second part of Unit 9 after doing the past perfect. Now the past continuous, revising the form and the use. What is the form of the past continuous? So just like every continuous form, you must have the ing, right? You, we, they. We use were to be in the past. Were taken, we were taken, you were taken, they were taking. Alright, and for the other pronouns, including I, be careful, you don't say I were taken, but I was taken, he was taken, she was taking, and it was taken. Okay, for the negative, you're just going to add not, were not taken, weren't taking. And yes, the same here, was not taken, wasn't taken. And for the questions, you start, obviously you always start with the auxiliary in questions. Auxiliary, then the subject, then the verb ing. Okay, were they taken, etc.? Yes, they were. Was I taken? No, I wasn't. That's it for the form. When do we use the past continuous? Okay, so we use the past continuous for long activities in the past. Okay, so you have some verbs that you can use in the continuous form if they took a lot of time in the past. Example, my neighbors were making a lot of noise last night. You can say my neighbors made, past simple, a lot of noise last night, but here you use the past continuous to say that it is a long activity, that it took a lot of time in the past. Okay, another use of the past continuous, we use it to express an activity in progress. So it was in progress, you were in the middle of the action, and the action was interrupted by an action in the past. Okay, example, I was having dinner. You see, I did not finish my dinner when something happened in the middle of that dinner. You see, so it was an action in progress. I was having dinner when the earthquake happened. You see, so there's an action in the past that interrupts the action in progress in the past continuous. All right. Okay, as a way of practice, let's see if you can complete the sentences with the past simple or the past continuous form of the verb. You have these verbs here: do, get, meet, play. Sleep is just an example, and watch. Example, I went to see Maria yesterday evening, but she was sleeping. You see, she was sleeping, she was in the middle of an action. You see, I interrupted the action. Okay, it was in progress. Number 2, as I said, you can pause the video and try to do this on your own first. They married, so the verb get, right? Married and went to live in Ecuador. Is this an action that took, you can say it took a long time? Actually, no. So it's a short action, right? They got married and went to live in Ecuador. Number 3, her husband while she was working in Africa. So the verb to meet, right? Is it she was meeting? No, you meet a person and it's a short action. It does not take a lot of time. Okay, in the past simple, she met her husband while she was working in Africa. So an action in progress, she was working, and the action was kind of interrupted by another action in the past simple. Number 4, he twisted his ankle while he, verb football, so play, right? He twisted, this is past simple. He twisted his ankle while he was playing football. Okay, the action is a long action, okay, and it was interrupted by the injury. He twisted his ankle. Number 5, I, TV, so the verb watch, when Gladys came round to see me. So I was in the middle of doing the action and Gladys came. So an action in progress interrupted by another action. I was watching TV when Gladys came round to see me. Number 6, what, this is a question, you, when you saw the bear, verb to do. What were you doing when you saw the bear? Of course, you're going to start with the auxiliary, then the subject, and then the verb. This is a question. Okay? So this is just to describe a long action that was again interrupted by another action, seeing the bear. That's it for the second part, or the video number 2. I'll see you in the video number 3.